Revealed, an incredible moment at the playground uncovers the hidden voice of a mute girl at 8. Lucy stood quietly at the edge of the playground, her bright blue eyes sparkling like the summer sky, but it was her colorful chalk drawings that truly told her story. Swirls of greens, pinks, and yellows spread across the cracked blacktop in a dance of dreams unspoken. In a bustling suburb where laughter bounced between swings and slides, Lucy felt like a ghost. Everyone knew her name, but no one paid attention to the mute girl who transformed the dull pavement into a magical kingdom. As she drew, she poured her heart into every piece like a painter coloring the silence with hope. Her mother, Sarah, worked long hours at the diner, her apron stained from countless spills and smiles shared with customers. She always dreamed of giving Lucy a better life, one filled with sunshine and joy rather than the shadowy sorrow that settled over them since her husband walked out that fateful day. Together, they battled the quiet storm of unexpressed pain, each lost in their own world yet desperate to connect when they could. As summer approached, excitement surged through their town, buzzing with chatter about the annual block party. Families referred to it as their chance to reconnect. But for Lucy, anticipation only wrapped around her like a tight knot of anxiety. The countdown began, but deep down, the shadow of isolation lingered, whispering fears of rejection and loss. The vivid hues of her chalk became brighter with each passing day, each swirl a voice yearning to be heard. Then, disaster struck. A local teen, brimming with unwarranted confidence, casually stomped over Lucy's masterpiece, shoes smudging the artistic beauty into a murky mess. It felt like a punch to Lucy's gut. Her heart sank, a deep sadness boiling under her skin. This wasn't just art to her, it was her identity, her voice, and he had crushed it thoughtlessly. That pivotal moment heightened the division in the community, highlighting their judgments based on monetary status rather than the love and creativity Lucy and Sarah offered. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Desperate to reclaim her daughter's light, Sarah boldly proposed a community art project, an opportunity for everyone to bring their talents together. Hope soared as she imagined a space where they could connect, but the excitement fizzled as parents whispered judgments, decrying Lucy's artistic flair as a threat. Children shrunk away from the idea, avoiding Lucy like a shadow. The block party, meant to bring them closer, just deepened the cracks in their community. As confusion and hurt enveloped her, Lucy withdrew, her once vibrant drawings dulled with despair, each line draping heavy over her heart. But just as the sun dipped low the night of the block party, an undeniable courage surged within her. The crowd's murmurs fell silent as she stepped forward, no longer just a spectator in her own life. This was her chance to combine her art and the rhythm of her spirit. With every twirl, Lucy created a breathtaking tapestry of movement, her dancing filling the air with a melody only she could hear. The audience shifted, eyes opening wide in wonder. They began to witness the beauty that had long been hidden. As cheers erupted and gasps filled the night, Sarah stood with tears glistening, a smile of pride breaking free. In that moment, amidst shadows of doubt and division, hope glimmered. Was this the beginning of a change, a bridge to finally connect them all? Lucy and Sarah met eyes, searching for acknowledgement in a world still yearning for understanding, leaving the question hanging like a whisper: would this be enough to mend their broken hearts? The crowd continued to cheer as Lucy danced, each twirl radiating an energy that caught fire, igniting the possibilities of connection within the hearts of those watching. It was a moment suspended in time, a moment that felt like it could reshape everything. For the first time, Lucy wasn't just the girl who drew on the pavement, she was a force of nature, filled with passion and light. But as the initial shock began to wear off, whispers crept back into the air, dampening the exhilaration. Some in the audience exchanged glances, their faces torn between admiration and hesitation. Could a mute girl truly communicate? What did it really mean to connect? The questions loomed heavy, and Lucy felt their weight in the pit of her stomach. As she finished her performance, the applause washed over her like a warm wave, but it also revealed the uncertainty lurking beneath the surface. With every clap, she saw faces light up in appreciation, yet soon they dimmed, returning to their usual guarded demeanor. Had she truly made an impact, or was this fleeting? Let us keep this going. This is just the beginning. Sarah's voice broke through the noise, her spirit unyielding even when faced with the resistance lingering just below the surface. She stepped forward, her determination palpable. Let us come together as a community. We can do something amazing. Bursts of agreement came from a few, but for many, the old habits of division still clung tightly. Lucy's heart sank once more. She had fought so hard to be seen, to be heard. Did they still prefer to stay within the familiar boundaries of their judgments? Lucy took a shaky breath, white-knuckling the edges of her drawing board, which still bore remnants of her earlier piece. Then, as if tapping into something grander, something universally appreciated, she flipped her board around to reveal a new message. Scrawled in vivid colors were the words, "We are all different, yet we are all part of the same masterpiece." A hush fell over the crowd. Confusion was palpable as they struggled to decode her message. Lucy raised her arms, beckoning everyone to look deeper. Could they see it? Could they feel the heart that pulsed beneath the surface of her creations? She wanted to draw them in, to weave their lives together through art and empathy. Suddenly, a small voice piped up from the side, a young boy named Tommy, one of the children who had initially avoided her. "Lucy, can you teach us how to draw? Can we all make a big mural?" His innocent words broke through the barrier, igniting sparks of energy in the crowd. Lucy's heart raced. A mural. It sounded like a dream. What if they truly came together to create something? It could become a symbol of their unity, a testament to overcoming the barriers that had kept them apart. As Lucy and Tommy exchanged excited looks, Sarah stepped forward, her heart swelling with a mix of pride and relief. Yes. Yes. Let us do it. A community mural where we all tell our stories. The crowd began buzzing with excitement, shifting slowly, inching toward one another. Connections started to form where isolation had reigned, and the artwork became a bridge. For Lucy, it was the moment she had yearned for, a chance to bring people together through her passion and creativity. But as the planning began, a shadow flickered at the edges of the celebration, a figure in the background watching closely, eyes filled with something darker. Uncertainty clawed at Lucy again. Could this be the beginning of something beautiful? Or would old prejudices loom large, threatening to tear their fragile bond apart? As whispers of doubt lingered, Lucy's heart raced, each beat a reminder that their journey had only just begun. Would they face the challenge together, or would the doubts return to haunt them? The community mural stood as a hopeful beacon, but the path forward remained uncertain. As the buzz of excitement swirled through the air, Lucy felt a flicker of hope ignite within her. The crowd had begun to transform, inching closer together, their earlier hesitance slowly melting away. Conversations sparked like fireflies in the darkness, illuminating the potential of this moment. She could see it, a shared vision slowly taking shape in the hearts of those around her. "Let South meet at the park tomorrow," Sarah called out, determination shining in her eyes. "Each of us can bring something to contribute. Let us share our stories and visions for the mural." Cheers erupted, blending into a chorus of enthusiasm that resonated through her. Yet, as the enthusiasm washed over her like a wave, so did the shadows lurking at the edges of her mind. Would this truly inspire change? Or would the cracks of division quickly appear again the moment her back was turned? "What colors do you think we should use?" Tommy chimed in, his eyes sparkling with imagination. Lucy knelt down beside him, drawing closer to his excitement. She quickly sketched a few ideas, illustrating vibrant hues of blue and yellow, colors that danced with joy and warmth. As they talked, more kids approached, some daring, others shy. They wanted to be a part of Lucy's vision, eager to grasp the opportunity for creativity and togetherness. Each child offered their thoughts, from swirls and patterns to names etched into the mural. A whirlwind of energy surged through the group, weaving their narratives into a tapestry of hopeful expression, but just as connections blossomed, Lucy noticed the shadow once again. The figure loomed larger now, still observing, feeling ominous in the festival of colors emerging all around. Something in those eyes sent shivers down her spine, and for a fleeting moment, Lucy's hope faltered. She wondered what story that figure held. "Lucy, what happens if we do this?" Tommy's voice broke through her thoughts. "What if people don't want to join us?" The question hit hard. It was a realization that echoed in shadows. What if this dream shattered before it could even begin? The mural had the potential to represent unity, but insecurities were still tightly wound around the community's heart. Would those who clung to their division refuse to see beauty in something fresh? Lucy drew in a deep breath, summoning resolve. She turned to the children and spoke as if casting a spell of courage. "No matter what happens, we're going to express ourselves in our own ways. Every story, every color matters, whether it's big or small." The kids nodded, mirroring her enthusiasm. For a second, that dark figure felt less ominous, as if the joy radiating from their conversation could light up the shadows. The group dispersed with plans heavy in their hearts and bright in their eyes. Lucy gathered her supplies, a tangible list of possibilities forming in her mind. She aimed to trap every essence of their energy and dreams within the mural, etching their journey into a vibrant canvas, but that figure still lingered in the back of her mind, casting doubts like a storm cloud ready to break. Lucy's drive was strong, but she sensed a challenge lying ahead, one she couldn't ignore. Tomorrow would bring the chance to create a symbol of unity, but would it also unveil hidden wounds? Would the interaction of these vibrant hearts shake loose the darkness that had held them captive? And as she finally made her way home, doubt crept around her again. Would they stand together, or would the seeds of uncertainty take root, threatening to divide them before the mural could bloom? Morning arrived with a light mist softly wrapping around the neighborhood like a warm hug. Lucy stood at her window, watching the world wake up beneath the glowing sun. The energy outside was buzzing, a promise of change lingered in the air. She took a moment to absorb it, her heart racing with anticipation mixed with anxiety. With her art supplies in her backpack, Lucy determinedly set out toward the park. Each step felt heavier than the last, doubts swimming in her mind. What if today didn't go the way she hoped? What if the darkness stirred again, threatening to snuff out their hopeful flames? As she reached the park, she was greeted by the sight of children gathering under the sprawling oak trees, laughter bursting like bubbles against the serene morning. Tommy was already there, eagerly bouncing on his toes, his contagious excitement igniting something in Lucy. "Lucy! Over here!" he shouted, waving his arms wildly. The sight brought a smile to her face, a tiny flicker of hope burning anew. More kids trickled in Sarah, then a few shy ones lingering at the edges. Lucy felt a swell of warmth. She could do this. Together, they could create something beautiful and powerful. "Let us find a spot," Sarah suggested. They meandered to a clear wall of the park building, its surface rough and gray. It seemed a little dreary, but Lucy could already envision how it would be transformed by their colors and stories. As they set up, Sarah moved to engage the shy ones. "You know, everyone has a story to tell," she said softly. "It doesn't have to be big, even the small things matter." Lucy watched as those hesitant smiles began to peek out. Drawing their attention back to her, Lucy stepped forward, using her voice to anchor her vision. "Each of us brings a piece to this mural. Your thoughts, your colors, everything we add will make our message stronger." Hope swirled in the air, making even the most uncertain among them lean in. Minutes turned into an hour as the children discussed colors and images. Ideas bounced around like brightly colored marbles, swirls of joy, handprints, even simple words. It was exhilarating, and for a moment, Lucy felt invincible. But that fleeting sense of calm soon unraveled. From the corner of her eye, her heart sank at the sight of that shadowy figure again standing farther off, this time with a couple of adults beside them, their faces twisted into skeptical frowns. A chill snaked up her spine. What would happen if they stepped in, questioning her? "Lucy," Tommy said, his voice feeble now, "what if they don't like what we're doing?" Panic washed over her, creeping in as a suffocating blanket. What if their fears came true? What if the world outside these walls didn't see beauty in their colors? Biting her lip, she hesitated for a moment. Then we'll keep going, she finally said, her voice steadier than she felt. We're creating something important. Even if they don't understand it now, we have to believe it matters. The children nodded, a quiet determination shining in their eyes. They got to work, some painting, others sharing their ideas, each stroke bringing them closer to a vibrant representation of unity, but Lucy felt the figure lurk just beyond their bubble of creativity. It was like a storm cloud, always there, threatening to burst. As the mural began to take shape, she couldn't shake the feeling that today was only the beginning of something much bigger. As laughter floated around her, and colorful paint splattered in joyful disarray, Lucy glanced back at the figure one last time. She held on to hope, but the fear didn't let her go. Would they embrace their tapestry of unity, or would the whispers of division drown it out? In that moment, the sun breaking through the clouds seemed to mirror her uncertainty, casting a new light on the shadows around her. It was time to find out. What truths would the mural reveal? And could it possibly awaken a voice that had long been silent? The sun climbed higher, casting a golden glow on the mural as the children's laughter and chatter mingled in the air. Brushes danced across the wall, splattering bright yellows, blues, and reds, their colors weaving a story of dreams and shared moments. Yet, in the back of Lucy's mind, that shadowy figure lingered, like an uninvited guest at their party of creativity. Look! I made a butterfly. Sarah announced, beaming proudly as she stepped back to reveal a mix of vivid oranges and purples. It was stunning. Tommy joined her, excitedly dabbing his brush to add some grass beneath it. The atmosphere lightened as they shared their creations, each child slowly gaining the confidence to contribute more freely. Lucy couldn't help but feel proud. She wanted this mural to mirror the joy wrapped in their community, to hold their hopes and dreams, even their struggles. She squeezed her paintbrush as she thought back to that figure. Was it just her imagination fueling her anxiety, or could they actually shut this down? Hey, Lucy! What's next? Tommy asked, snapping her back to reality. She looked down at the empty spaces still begging for life, inspiration hitting her like a sudden gust of wind. Let's add handprints, she suggested. Each of us can leave a mark. The children cheered, clamoring to get involved. The paints soon transformed into a kaleidoscope of fingerprints, each distinct yet united in purpose. While art was taking shape, Lucy noticed the figure move closer, its shape more defined now. Anxiety clung to her. She could see the adults exchanging glances, brief, judgmental looks that made her stomach twist. Suddenly, a timid voice piped up from behind. Can I join? The group turned, and standing slightly apart was a girl with a soft face, her hair a tangled halo around her head. She looked around nervously, fidgeting with a worn-out backpack, as if hoping to blend into the wall as quietly as a mouse. Of course. We'd love to have you, Lucy called. The girl seemed surprised, her eyes widening. What's your name? Lily, she whispered, her voice barely audible above the laughter. Lucy could sense a flicker of something in her eyes, a mix of hope and fear. Lily stepped forward hesitantly alongside the others, her heartbeat loud in her chest. What do you want to paint, Lily? Sandy asked, her typical bubbly self. Maybe flowers or stars? Lily's gaze dropped to the ground. I don't know, she murmured, her voice wavering. That's okay. Why don't you start with a handprint like us? Lucy encouraged, kneeling down to be eye level with her. Everyone's welcome to share their story through their colors. It's all about what's in your heart. For a long moment, Lily stared at the colors arranged before her, stepping closer to a bright green paint. The other kids continued painting, laughter igniting the air around them. But the earlier tension hadn't dissipated entirely. Lucy could still feel the eyes of the figure lingering. Taking a deep breath, Lily dipped her hand into the paint. As she pressed it on the wall, a soft smile spread across her face, as if she were releasing a part of herself into the world. The vivid green handprint glimmered next to an abundance of colors, a spark ready to ignite. "You did it!" Tommy cheered, rushing to see her work. Laughter erupted as the other children gathered around, all of them appreciating the courage it took for Lily to join in. But even in that moment of celebration, Lucy felt the weight of the skeptics creep up again. Would this mural become a symbol of something beautiful, or just another battle against the tide of misunderstanding? The air shifted as the adults approached, each step deliberate, heavy with authority. Lucy's heart raced. Would they tear apart this moment, or would they see the beauty in the children's creation? Lucy swallowed hard, glancing at Lily, who now stood beside her paint-covered hand, brightened face, and a newfound sense of belonging. There was power in this unity. But what would happen if the adults rejected it? The possibility sent tremors through her core. Lucy took a step forward, ready to defend their mural and their message, to fight for every child's voice. Would she find the strength to stand tall? The adults drew nearer, their expressions unreadable, like storm clouds gathering before the rain. Lucy felt her heart thud in her chest, each beat whispering the stakes of that moment. The sounds of laughter faded as the adults studied the colorful chaos before them. Was this mere children's play, or did it hold deeper meanings no one could see? "What is going on here?" A sharp voice cut through the air. It belonged to Mr. Thompson, the school principal, an imposing figure in his navy blazer, his brow knit with disapproval. He surveyed the mural, his eyes narrowing on Lily's bright handprint. "This isn't permitted." Lucy stepped forward, taking a deep breath to steady herself, her voice trembling but resolute. "Mr. Thompson, we're creating something beautiful. It's about our community and our voices." The kids watched, their eyes darting between Lucy and the adults, a mix of concern and hope in their expressions. "Art has value," Lucy continued, feeling the strength of her words as they flowed out. "It's a part of who we are. Look how excited everyone is." Mr. Thompson crossed his arms, yet Lucy saw a flicker of uncertainty in his eyes. "But what if it's just a mess?" he challenged, almost defiantly. "Messy can be beautiful," came a small voice from the back. It was Lily, stepping forward, her shoulders slightly hunched but her voice steady. "It shows that we're alive and that we're here." A silence enveloped them, thick, heavy, and charged with tension. The other children looked at her in surprise, not having expected Lily to speak up. The adults exchanged glances, some frowning while others simply looked contemplative. "Yeah," Sarah piped up, emboldened by Lily's courage. "It's about sharing what we feel inside. Everyone has a story." "Exactly." Tommy jumped in, "My dad always says art can change the world." Mr. Thompson shifted, the weight of those innocent voices softening the authority in his demeanor. A moment hung in the air like a held breath, but Lucy could feel hope crackling around them like static electricity. "Let us give them a chance to express themselves," a woman named Ms. Garcia, one of the teachers, finally said. Her soft tone carried warmth, cutting through the tension. "It's important for our community." Lucy watched as slowly, Mr. Thompson seemed to reconsider. Maybe he saw it too. The shifting colors, the handprints melding together, the children's faces shining, there was a story unfolding right before them. "Okay," he said, finally lifting his arms. "But let us do this properly. We can create a schedule and perhaps maybe we can get some local artists involved too." The children erupted in cheers, their voices blending together in joyous confusion, but Lucy's gaze fell back to Lily. The girl's eyes sparkled as she twirled in excitement, her face radiant with a sense of belonging. Lucy felt a rush of pride. This moment was not just about the mural, it was about finding strength in unity, about the courage to be heard. As the sun began to dip toward the horizon, painting the sky with hues of dusk, Lucy felt a sense of peace wash over her. Despite the fear and uncertainty that lingered in her heart, she recognized this simple truth: art had power, and so did the voices of these children, but just when everything seemed to settle, something shifted again. From the corner of her eye, she noticed the shadowy figure retreating into the trees, lingering as if waiting for something. What did they want? Lucy's heart dropped. What else might they threaten? What secrets could unravel as the mural gained attention and grew in importance? The cheers and laughter had barely settled when Lucy felt another chill seep into the warm air. The figure at the edge of the trees lingered, a dark silhouette, wavering like a mirage. Was it watching them? Were they in danger? Lucy. Lily tugged at her sleeve, her face strained with worry. Who is that? Are we safe? I don't know, Lucy admitted, her stomach twisting. The adults were distracted, still discussing the mural. Mr. Thompson seemed to be softening, but that figure held her attention like a magnetic force. Suddenly, an idea sparked in Lucy's mind. Lily, can you keep the others entertained? I need to check it out. Are you sure? Lily didn't sound convinced. Yeah, I'll be quick. Lucy replied, trying to inject confidence into her voice. She squeezed her friend's shoulder. With a deep breath, she turned toward the trees and took a tentative step forward. The grass crunched beneath her shoes, each sound amplifying the tension building inside her. As she approached the tree line, the figure appeared clearer, not just a shadow, but a girl. She looked about Lily's age, perhaps a little older, her eyes wide and sparkling with something Lucy couldn't quite place. Just as she felt a tremor of relief, the girl turned and began to retreat deeper into the woods. Wait! Lucy called out, her voice breaking the tension. The girl paused for a heartbeat, glancing back at Lucy. There was something in her gaze, curiosity, maybe fear. Please don't run. I'm not here to hurt you. Lucy took another step forward, heart pounding. Slowly, the girl turned back, stepping from the underbrush. As she did, Lucy got a better look. Her hair was tangled, wild strands dancing around her face. The girl was small, and she wore a shirt emblazoned with a faded cartoon character. Lucy noticed the girl had a painted handprint on her cheek, like she had been part of the mural, even if only in spirit. Who are you? Lucy asked gently, trying to bridge the gap of uncertainty. The girl tilted her head, hesitating, then pointed to her throat and shook her head. She was mute, a fact that pained Lucy deeply. She wanted to reach out and connect. I'm Lucy, she said softly, consciously lowering her tone. We're painting a mural over there. It's about our community, our voices. You are part of that, right? The girl's eyes flickered with an understanding that warmed Lucy's heart. She took a few tentative steps closer, a tentative spark of trust igniting between them. Do you want to help? Lucy asked, desperation mixed with hope. I know you have something to say. At that, the girl's hand quickly moved to her shirt. She pulled out a small, red notebook and a pencil, her tools for expression. Lucy's heart swelled. What stories did this girl hold, waiting to spill onto the page? Just then, a loud shout from the mural site broke their moment. Lucy turned to see the group of kids running toward them, with Mr. Thompson walking behind them, brows raised. Lucy! What is going on? The girl's eyes widened, panic breaking through the connection they shared. She stepped back, clutching her notebook close, ready to disappear again. No! Wait! Lucy rushed forward, her voice urgent. Please stay. They can understand you just like I do. But the girl hesitated. Can I show you something? Lucy cried, suddenly struck by inspiration. She needed to convince her that they could be a team. This mural isn't just about colors. It's about stories. And I bet yours is amazing. The girl paused, peering at the notebook, then slowly nodded. But just as hope bloomed in Lucy's chest, she saw Mr. Thompson's stern expression drawing nearer, and the moment began to crackle with tension. The girl's eyes darted between Lucy and the approaching adults, uncertainty shadowing her features. Come on. Just a few minutes, Lucy urged, her heart racing. Let us show them together. But would their connection withstand the oncoming scrutiny? As Mr. Thompson's shadow loomed closer, Lucy felt her breath catch. What would happen if the world saw this girl and her magnificent untold story? Lucy suddenly realized, today could change everything, or could fall apart before it even began. Lucy's heart raced, each beat echoing the urgency of the moment. She could see Mr. Thompson's brows knitting together, and it sent a shiver down her spine. The conversation about the mural had been a lively one, but now, with this girl standing at the edge of the woods clutching her notebook tight, the delightful energy was at risk of collapsing into silence again. "Please," Lucy whispered, as if the words could magically draw the girl back into her confidence. She took a small step closer, trying to project warmth and encouragement. "You don't have to be afraid. What you have to say matters." The girl glanced again at the approaching adults, then back at Lucy. Her expression was a whirlwind of indecision, the tight grip on her notebook betraying her anxiety. "What's your name?" Lucy pressed gently, hoping to establish a bond. The girl opened her mouth slightly as if she'd like to respond, but then simply shook her head again, frustrated. Instead, she held out her red notebook, flipping it open to a page hastily filled with scribbles and doodles that gave just a hint of a story. Before Lucy could process the page, the group of kids was upon them. They stumbled to a stop, their breath misting in the warmth of the day, eyes darting between Lucy and the girl, then back to Mr. Thompson, whose impatient gaze swept over the scene. "What's happening here?" he asked, trying to regain control of the situation. The laughter of their earlier conversations faded into a worried silence. She's just helping with the mural." Lucy replied quickly, searching for the right words. "She's really talented. Her story is important." The kids exchanged curious glances, their interest piqued by Lucy's desperate enthusiasm. Then one of them, Jack, broke the ice. "Can she show us what she's been drawing?" A flicker of hope passed through Lucy. Perhaps this could become an invitation rather than an invasion. With caution, the girl nodded and opened her notebook wide, proudly displaying pages filled with vibrant colors and sketches her interpretations of the world around her. The characters were whimsical and wild, but the emotions they captured were raw, a reflection of experience that spoke louder than any words. "Wow!" several kids exclaimed, taking steps closer. "This is amazing." Mr. Thompson remained skeptical, his gaze narrowing. "Lucy, come here a moment," he ordered, stepping closer to her. "We need to focus on the project." But just as Lucy took a half-step back toward him, the quiet girl pointed at a specific drawing, her eyes bright and animated as she illustrated something that sparked joy within her. It was like a light had ignited in her expression. "What is she trying to say?" one girl whispered to another, her voice laced with curiosity. Lucy looked from the girl's animated gestures back to her classmates. "I think she wants us to know that art can speak when words can't," she said, feeling a swell of determination. "It can tell stories, share feelings, and bring us closer." Mr. Thompson's frustrated frown softened for a brief moment as the energy shifted around him from skepticism to a budding enthusiasm. But just when Lucy thought the adults might begin to understand, a rustle from deep within the woods caught everyone's attention. They all turned to see something moving just beyond the tree line, hidden within the shadows. "What was that?" Jack asked, stepping back even as the girl's expression darkened, uncertainty creeping back into her eyes. As Lucy peered into the unforgiving shadows, a flicker of fear gripped her. Was it just more woodland creatures, or something more sinister waiting to emerge? The air thickened with suspense as they all held their breath, waiting for the answer. What would step out from the trees? Would it help bridge the lost connection between them, or would it shatter the fragile moment Lucy had just begun to piece together? The rustling grew louder, snapping like a twig underfoot. Lucy felt her breath quicken, and the warmth of hope began to wane, replaced by a chill that wrapped around her heart. The girl who had just begun to shine now looked small and vulnerable, her knuckles white against the notebook. "Let's not panic," Lucy said, trying to sound steadier than she felt. But deep inside, her instincts hummed with apprehension. Mr. Thompson's gaze darted from the woods to the child standing beside her, frustration morphing into anxiety. "Everyone, take a step back, please," he commanded, his voice firm yet edged with concern. Suddenly, a blur darted out from the shadows. The kids gasped collectively, stepping back in unison. It was a deer, graceful yet startled, as it leaped across the path and vanished into the thicket. Relief washed over the group, but Lucy couldn't shake the feeling that the moment had shifted once again. "Wow, a deer!" Jack exclaimed, excitement rekindling in his voice. "That was awesome." The tension broke, and laughter mixed with chatter filled the air once more. But not for the quiet girl. Her eyes remained fixed on the woods, uncertainty clouding her face. She had opened up slightly, and now it felt like a part of her had slipped back into the shadows. Lucy sensed the fragile connection they had begun to build teetering dangerously close to collapse. "It's okay," Lucy said softly, leaning closer to the girl. "The deer is gone now. Let us get back to your drawings." The girl hesitated but then reluctantly turned back to her notebook. Her fingers trembled as she flipped through the pages, each one holding a piece of a world that only she could truly understand. "Show us the one about the girl in the forest," Jack called out, still buzzing from the brief encounter with nature. With a small nod, the girl paused at a page filled with swirling colors depicting a girl standing under tall trees, a butterfly perched delicately on her finger. There was something truly enchanting about it, dreamlike yet grounded in reality. "What is her story?" Lucy asked gently, her heart swelling with encouragement. "Why is she there?" At that moment, the girl's gaze lifted, and for the first time, Lucy caught a spark of confidence in her eyes. She gestured dramatically, mimicking the girl in her drawing, as if sharing a tale that only she could tell. It was like watching the petals of a flower unfurling, slowly revealing its beauty. She is free." One of the kids exclaimed, the realization rippling among them, igniting bright glimmers of understanding. Lucy felt her soul lift alongside the girl's burgeoning confidence. It was as if the fear that had kept them both hidden was melting away. "Yes. And she sees everything in the forest. Maybe she even talks to the animals," Lucy added, channeling the energy of the moment into something meaningful. The quiet girl smiled, her lips parting slightly, as if ready to join in the storytelling. It was a small movement that felt monumental. And great waves of warmth washed over Lucy, filled with unlimited possibility. Just then, a low voice broke the revelry. "Lucy, we really need to finish the mural." Mr. Thompson stepped closer, concern drawing deep lines across his forehead. "Can we focus on our work?" Lucy glanced from him to the girl, the glimmer of opportunity flickering like a flame in the wind. "But we're building something amazing here," she insisted, fighting against the urge to retreat into expectation. "You just got a glimpse of her world," she pointed out, feeling her own heart race again. "What if there's a way to bring that into the mural? A way that includes her? Just hear me out." As Mr. Thompson opened his mouth to respond, they were interrupted by another noise, a distant yell echoing through the clearing. "What now?" Jack sighed, glancing around. Unease filled the air once more, punctuating the moment with uncertainty. What else could change in this fragile dance of emotions? As they all turned toward the source of the sound, Lucy's heart pounded. What would happen next? Could they really find their way into this connection, or would it all slip through their fingers again? The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows across the park, a stage set for change. The air buzzed with excitement, but Lucy felt the weight of uncertainty press down on her. She saw the children, their faces lit with anticipation, but her heart was torn. The shadowy figure, now an anxious girl, still stood at the edge, torn between the world within her notebook and the vibrant energy building all around them. Lucy glanced at Mr. Thompson, whose brow was furrowed, yet his eyes softened slightly as he observed the children's reactions. But that yell! It echoed again, closer this time, shattering any tranquil moment. The laughter faded, curiosity shifting into anxiety. What was happening now? as they all turned toward the source of the call, a girl burst through the trees, her hair wild in the wind and her eyes wide open, filled with thrilling urgency. "There's a rainbow by the creek," she shouted, breathless. "You have to see it." The energy crackled. Tommy's face lit up, and excitement surged through the group. "Let us go," he exclaimed, urging everyone forward. Lucy felt the pull of adventure, but at the same time, something deeper called her. The shadow girl to leave her behind seemed wrong. But all the children were already moving, their laughter ringing out as they dashed toward the creek. "Come on," Lucy called back, glancing at the quiet girl, who still clutched her notebook. The girl hesitated, glancing from Lucy to the others. Fear played across her features, but Lucy stepped forward, resolute. "You can share the rainbow too. Come with me." For a moment, time stood still. Then, slowly, the quiet girl nodded, her trust igniting like the first spark of dawn. They joined the others, stepping into the burst of laughter and wild imagination, the thrill of possibility cascading like a waterfall. As they reached the creek, the sight took their breath away. A dazzling rainbow stretched across the sky, vibrant and alive, a reminder of beauty after a storm. Lucy felt a surge of inspiration. "Let us paint the rainbow on the mural," she shouted, her voice carrying. The others cheered in agreement, feeling the joyous spirit uplift all their hearts. In this glimmering moment, hope surged within Lucy, every worry melting away. "Can I help?" the shadow girl asked, her voice barely above a whisper, but bursting with newfound courage. Lucy beamed. "Of course. Together, we can make it incredible." The children rallied, excitedly diving into their creative challenge, their brushes dancing through the air like magic wands. Side by side, the quiet girl painted with determination. Every stroke was a piece of her heart, bursting forth into a beautiful connection with her peers. Before long, anxious eyes transformed into radiant smiles, sparkling determination filling the space. No longer restrained by fears of judgment, they became part of the symphony of colors forming the masterpiece. Lucy watched in awe, knowing they had united, overcoming unspoken barriers. The mural wasn't just colors anymore, it was alive with their stories, their dreams, their voices finally finding resonance. Laughter bubbled up from the crowd as they painted, stories being shared, joy in every stroke. In the midst of it all, Mr. Thompson joined them. He leaned closer to inspect their work, and for the first time, awe glimmered in his eyes. "This is remarkable," he murmured, almost to himself. The words hung in the air, a welcome validation. But before Lucy could celebrate this small victory, she felt the shadow of doubt flicker, remembering the figure previously lurking in the background. What would happen when they unveiled their mural? Would the world embrace their vibrant creation or harshly dismiss it as mere childish play? That concern was met when sounds of hesitation rippled through the crowd, voices murmuring as two adults at the park approached. "What is going on?" one of them asked, observing the chaos of colors and laughter at the mural site. But this time, Lucy stood firm. She took a deep breath and stepped forward, hand on her heart. "We're painting a mural to celebrate our community, every one of us. We believe everyone deserves to share their story." The children rallied behind her, voices intertwining in a harmonious chorus. "We want to show what we can create together. We worked hard to make this. It's our masterpiece." The adults exchanged glances, but then something shifted, a flicker of understanding as they surveyed the children's expressions, the joy and enthusiasm radiating from the mural. Instead of wearing the stern masks of disapproval, they softened, intrigued by the possibility. "Maybe a mural like this can bring the community together," one of the adults finally said, looking at the painted colors and the laughter dancing like sunlight upon water. The children erupted in cheers, their spirits winning over skepticism, at least for now. As the sun dipped lower, painting the sky in glorious hues, Lucy felt her heart swell. It was a struggle, yes. A journey still unfolding. But in this moment, she felt hope flooding through her veins. They had transformed within each other's hearts every child, every story woven together like the strands of a beautiful tapestry. With her eyes shining bright, Lucy looked for her silent friend. The girl stood in the sunlight, paint splattered and beaming, her notebook clutched against her chest like a precious treasure. "Will you join our stories?" Lucy asked, extending her hand with a smile. The girl stepped forward. She nodded, and this time, when she spoke, her voice rang clear. "Yes. Let us create a story that everyone can share." With the sun setting behind them, the mural became their sanctuary, an open embrace of unity, resilience, and possibility. They knew the journey wasn't over. Change would take time and effort, more colors to add, stories to share, and connections to build. But at that moment, under the soft glow of twilight, they had sparked a fire of understanding. They had spoken, every voice heard, every story welcomed, and as Lucy turned to lead the charge into the future, with her friends beside her, she knew there was power in the unyielding bond forged through their art, the kind of power that could shape not only a mural but the entire community. So, stand strong now. This is no time for hesitance. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories that inspire. Press like now to feed the algorithm and keep this momentum going. I can't wait to hear your thoughts, so comment below about how the ending made you feel. Your voice matters. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this incredible transformation. Let us spread the magic together.